Hi everyone, I know what you're thinking. You desperately wanted to start your day by going over the syllabus. This video is intended to show you the syllabus for Composition and Rhetoric for English 1030, Spring 2021. My name is Jacob Richter. I am the instructor for the course. Welcome to the course. I'm very excited to meet you all and to get to know you all. This video is just intended to show you the intricacies, but also the really just the basic bare bones version of what our class will look like as showcased on the syllabus. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started then. Sorry it's so long. I know you all love 15 or 16 page syllabi, so I can be long-winded at times, you'll notice that. But anyways, just as far as the bare minimum, the very most basic components of our course. You'll see all of my information here. My email is really important, jdrich@g.clemson.edu. Make sure you get that G in there. I sometimes won't get emails if they don't have that g@clemson.edu, g.clemson.edu, sorry. That just stands for Google. Sometimes it'll go to the other account. Use that G is the point. But anyways, so you'll see that my office hours are Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And then Thursdays from 1 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Those are just really just meant to be close to one another, but also a couple of morning hours on Tuesdays, and then some afternoon hours on Thursdays. So those are held entirely in Zoom. You can access my office hours just by clicking this link right here. It's listed a couple of other times on the syllabus, but just click that link and it'll take you into my personal meeting room. I'll be in that room on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the listed times. And then we can talk and we can meet, and you don't have to have an appointment for that. Those are hours that I'm just sitting in an empty Zoom call for students to pop in and say hello or get help on an assignment, or talk about a project, or, chit-chat about the weather or about Trevor Lawrence's hair. Anyways, so you'll see my office is in Sturd, and then I have an office in Daniel. We probably will not meet in those. This is an online and asynchronous course. So I do all of my office hours by Zoom for the most part. With that being said, if you do want to meet outside of these office hours, say if you have another commitment, you're working, you have like childcare, or you have another class, we are I'm also available by appointment. So just send me an email and we can meet outside of those hours. My schedule is pretty flexible. Anyways, so this course is online and it is asynchronous, so we will not ever meet in person at all. We also will not meet in a Zoom call as a class. The only time that we'll use Zoom is for office hours. So if you want to talk with me individually on a private basis, Zoom is what we'll use for that. But otherwise, each week I will send out a module for you all to follow, and that will be our class session, or that will be what will replace a class session. So we're not going to meet in a Zoom call. We're not going to meet synchronously together. This course is asynchronous. Anyways, so the course goals. Our course is all about writing and rhetoric. I wrote out our principal goal for the semester is to nurture proficient and empowered rhetorical citizens. A strong component of being rhetorically empowered is to have expertise and aptitude in the act of writing. Although considering that rhetoric is never static, we will consider the exploration of other forms of rhetoric as an additional primary goal. Ultimately, this course will strive to nurture and to cultivate students capable of engaging writing and rhetoric in ways that will prove beneficial to their societies, to their communities, and to their fellow classmates. So we'll talk all about writing and rhetoric. Those are the two core components of our class. Rhetoric is the art of persuasion. It's how you communicate with other people. It is how you communicate a message to an audience, and how you make that message a strong, high-quality one that is likely to resonate with that group of people. But anyway, so you can go through and read our course description. As far as this class goes, as far as required texts and supplies, nothing is required beyond a computer and beyond an internet connection. So you do not have to buy a textbook for this course. If you bought Envision in Depth, which might have been listed for the course, you can return that. Like Envision in Depth is a great textbook that we'll read the first chapter of, but you don't actually have to keep the book. You don't actually have to have the book. If you bought it, you can return it. Go to the bookstore today, or return it in the mail. If you bought it on Amazon, you don't need it. Save yourself the $60 or $70. We're going to use entirely open access resources that are free and that are online. You can print them out if you want to, but they are free to you. You should not have to spend $1 on this course aside from tuition. So that's something that you should keep in mind. You obviously do have to have an internet connection. It's tough to participate in an online course without that. If you have issues with that, you can contact me and we'll work something out. But anyways, you do not need a textbook. Return it if you bought it. We'll use all these links, and I have a bunch of plans for that. Anyway, so the learning outcomes for the course are pretty simple and straightforward. Rhetorical knowledge is the first outcome. That's possibly one of the most important ones. Critical thinking, critical reading, and critical writing is our second learning outcome. Processes of composing is our third outcome. Knowledge of conventions is our fourth outcome. And then finally, our fifth and final learning outcome is composing in electronic environments. As far as course policies and grading procedures, you'll leave in May with a grade for the course, and you have the exact way that'll be calculated right now ahead of time. This will not change. Our first project is 15% of your final grade. Our second major project is 20% of your final grade. And our third project is 25% of your final grade. So you'll see that those rise in importance as we move throughout the semester. We will do our participation in the course in Slack. Slack will be 30% of your final grade. So the Slack participation is obviously a major component for the course. That is actually the largest grade that you'll leave with. And that is the Slack participation is done on a ungraded basis, meaning that if you do it, if you write 6 sentences and respond to your peers and finish your response with a question, then you get full points for that week. I'm not going through and grading, say, grammar, and it doesn't have to be your absolute best work ever, but it's participation. And it is meaningful, but if you do it, you get full credit. We will do peer review on Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a video technology that's relatively straightforward to use. That'll be 10% of your final grade. And then finally, we do weekly check-ins and Google Forms just so I can make sure that we're all on the same page, just so I can make sure that the course documents are working for you, are accessible to you, and that the course is ultimately helping you to learn and helping you to be successful. Those are ungraded, but I put them in here just so you remember. And those will take all of 1 or 2 minutes for you to fill out each week. I talked about my office hours, but just click this link and you'll hop into a Zoom call where I will be during office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Don't hop in during non-office hours because I don't spend my whole life in that Zoom call. But anyways, you can also make an appointment for a meeting with me outside of office hours. And that can be for purposes related to the class. That can be potentially for purposes unrelated to the class. It can be for help on a project. It can be just to ask a question about a project. It can be to ask a question about the course. It can be to ask about help with your resume or something like that. Anything is on the table, and you don't need an appointment. You can just hop in. All right, so the way that the course works is we move on a Wednesday to Wednesday schedule. So we have 15 weeks. Each Wednesday at 5 p.m., you'll get an email from me, or it'll be a Canvas announcement. That Canvas announcement on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. will have the module for the week, or for the next week, I should say. The module will be a Microsoft Word document that'll tell you exactly what's expected of you for that week. So it's pretty straightforward. I'll send those out Wednesdays at 5 p.m. That means that all assignments are due on Wednesdays at 4:59 p.m. in Canvas. So everything starts on Wednesday and then ends on Wednesday. So it ends Wednesday at 4:59 p.m. and then a new week starts that same day, that same Wednesday at 5 p.m. So you'll see when we go to the course schedule how that works. It's pretty straightforward. What I would add is that there's nothing on the within the course that's not already listed on the syllabus. We'll just skip down to the course schedule. There's nothing here. There's nothing that the course will feature that isn't already listed. So I'm not going to add assignments. I'm not going to add readings. Everything is decided now. It is final. It is codified. It will not change. Lots of documents are living documents that are changeable and editable and revisable. This one is not. This one is final. So you can pretty much know what each of your weeks will look like. Right now you know that, say, during week 6, you'll be reading Amy Tan's Mother Tongue, and you'll be reading 2 other readings called Word Choice and Revising Drafts. And that, you know exactly what you'll be working on as far as writing goes. You'll be writing in Slack that week. But anyways, you also know when your second project is due. Your second project in the course is due your final project is due on April 23rd. Your second project is due on March 10th. So you know when everything will be due already. Anyways, all right, so back up on the syllabus. So I'm going to make a separate video on how to write in Slack. So don't worry about that quite yet, but you can read about that in great detail in various documents that I'll provide to you all. But so we move Wednesday to Wednesday, 5 p.m. on Wednesday to 5 p.m. the next Wednesday. The best way to contact me is through email. You can message me on Slack, but I don't check Slack nearly as much as email. I'm very good on email. I check email probably every 2 hours or so. So if you email me, I will always respond to you within 24 hours, oftentimes way sooner than that. As far as due dates and extensions, so all projects in the course have a due date, but that due date is really a bit more suggested than it is definite, and that is partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So there will be flexibility. If you need more time on an assignment, most students will get them in exactly when it's due. So we have roughly 20 students in the class. For each assignment, I would anticipate that 18 or 19 of them will have the assignment in on the exact due date that I ask for. However, if you are facing difficulties, if you're facing challenges, especially unanticipated difficulties or challenges, you can turn your project in late, and I will not take off for grading. Just let me know. Just send me an email. Say, hey, Professor Richter, I'm sick, or my family is sick, something like that, and I need a little extra time on this project. And I'll say, okay, perfect, fine. All work has to be turned in by the final day of the course, but beyond that, there will be no late penalties. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm trying to be as flexible as possible and work with you. I care about you, and I want you to be successful. And if I can be flexible on due dates, then that's one little favor that I can probably do for you all. But obviously, please do not take advantage of that. The one exception to that rule, that's more for like larger assignments, but the one exception to that rule is Slack participation. You have to write on Slack each week. Working in Slack will probably take you half an hour each week or so. It's not a very big assignment. It's relatively simple and straightforward. You have to do those each week. So you can't go, say, week 15 and write in Slack for all the previous weeks. That's meant to be, the Slack conversation is meant to be an ongoing conversation, an ongoing discussion, and it doesn't work if we all do it way later on. But anyways, so if you're sick, you can just email me and I'll tell you, okay, you don't have to participate in Slack this week or something like that. We'll figure that out. But the Slack participation can't just be done at the very end. We do use Canvas for this course. I'll attach another video showcasing for you what Canvas is and how it works. We'll use Canvas and Slack. So it'll be perhaps a little bit confusing for the first week, but after that, it'll become very clear and very obvious. So every couple of weeks, roughly every other week, I will send a Google form out to you. That'll be very fast. You can just fill it out. It'll be mostly multiple choice questions or perhaps short answer questions. It's not meant to be difficult. It's not a graded assignment. It's really just me making sure that we're on the same page and making sure that I'm doing all that I can to make the class a course that you can be successful in. So anyways, as far as plagiarism and academic dishonesty, it's pretty simple. Don't plagiarize. I'm very good at finding plagiarism. I don't use plagiarism checkers because of ethical issues associated with them. But on the whole, I've been teaching for a number of years now, and I can spot plagiarism like it's my job. The definition of plagiarism is when someone presents another person's words, visuals, or ideas as their own. Don't plagiarize. Be very careful. If you're not sure if you're plagiarizing accidentally, then email me, and I will, in a judgment-free way, tell you whether or not you're in good shape. And if you're not, I will not yell at you, but I will help you navigate the situation. Please do not plagiarize, though. Clemson has very strict policies against plagiarism. So you should use the Writing Center even online. The Writing Center is something that you already pay for, so you might as well use it. They will tutor you on writing assignments. You can find all of the Writing Center information right here. Use them. All of my best students use them. You can read the inclusion statements, but the TLDR version of this, the too long didn't read version of this, is that I value you all. I value you all across lines of gender, across lines of sex, of class, of race, of ethnicity. We should all feel like we are welcome here and that we're valued here. So student accessibility services, if you have a disability or if you have an accessibility concern, get in contact with that office. You can also email me, and I will do everything that I can to make the class accessible to you. We value students with disabilities, and we try to create a learning environment in which you can be as successful as you possibly can be. So get in touch with that office, or you can email me and I will bend over backwards to make a good course for you that works for you. Sexual harassment statement is right here on page 7. Please do not engage in sexual harassment. You can find the definition here. Importantly, sexual harassment can and does occur in digital spaces, say in places like Slack channels. So read through that and make sure that you know what sexual harassment is and make sure that you do not engage in it. Be aware that I am a mandated reporter. If sexual assault or harassment is reported to me, I am mandated, ignore that message, I am mandated to alert the university. You'll see the grading policy for the course here. You'll see descriptions of the major assignments, our landmark analysis, the mapping the controversy project, and then finally the position statement for a public audience. You don't need to worry about those now, but just something to have and keep an eye on. The course schedule moves from Wednesday to Wednesday. Pretty straightforward. The research question that we'll have each week will just be a question, say for the first week. Our research question is, what is composition and rhetoric? That is the title of our course. Anyways, you'll see the schedule as we've gone over. Pretty straightforward, but none of this will change. You'll see we were taking week 10 off for spring break, and that'll be a nice break because that's right after our second project is due. But anyways, so you know exactly what you'll be doing, say week 11 between March 17th and March 24th. You'll know what you'll be reading. You'll know what you'll be writing. You know you'll have an outline due for our third project that day, that sort of thing. So if you have any questions about the syllabus or about the course, please get in touch with me. I love communicating with students. I love talking with students. I really want to get to know you all this semester. Asynchronous courses can be challenging and can be very difficult. Try to connect. Come into office hours, pop in and say hi. It'll do you good. Anyways, so my email is jdrich@g.clemson.edu. If you have questions, concerns, or you want help with something, or if you just want to touch base, get in contact with me. But I'll meet you all on Slack, virtually, digitally, and that'll be great too. So have a great day. Take care.